good morning, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends as well. Share it wide. Tell them. Maiyegun today.
Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun diary Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ṣe o kẹ́gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Maiyegun diary. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
Thank you. Share the broadcast tonight. Wait to just they say to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Malamu and Boko Haram, as much as you all know that they believe that they've conquered everybody and nothing and nobody can stop them or challenge them. They are the accusers. They are the prosecutors. They are also the executors of their own laws. However, before they change the narrative, let us quickly correct it. Yeah. Share the video as well. If you have any of those Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, the social media bandits, Facebook adsmen, every one of them you know, including the premium Buharidins and Buharididrins, the Abrodian Buharidiots that you know, tag them. This is what they do. It is what Yoruba called aitetemole. Right before our eyes, we saw, we are still seeing them anyway. We saw jihadists grabbed power in Nigeria and they gave amnesty to terrorists who continues to kill every day. This week alone, these guys have killed over 600 human beings. But they are not terrorists. Because those who have taken over power in Nigeria would continue to tell you who is a criminal and who is not a criminal, who continue to free terrorists and jail activists. The same guys are now telling you, well, they have been telling you, that their own Fulani Salafist Islamic jihadists that have been wreaking havoc all over Nigeria, especially in northern Nigeria, they are vandals, they are bandits. But Sunday Igboho has a link with Boko Haram financier. We need to break it down. Olórí burúkú ló pọ̀jù nínú gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ Buhari APC. Olórí bú ló pọ̀jù nínú yín. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ APC, tẹ́ gbé sórí, tẹ́ gbé sọ́kàn, tẹ́ gbé sẹ́mi. Right before your eyes, terrorists are telling you that somebody who rose because of the terrorism being suffered in different parts of Yoruba land, risked everything, including his life. And the terrorists who hunted him down for doing so are turning around to tell you that a Yoruba son who defended Yoruba land at the stake of his own life, they are linking him to the people they pretended that they didn't know when these people were arrested in Dubai. Boko Haram's Malamu came out. This is where I want to start from. And please indulge me. Igboho working with Boko Haram financier Surajo Abubakar That is what Malami said today. He said a lot. He also, on Igboho, he said a lot on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. Malamu, part of what he released today, he said it was IPOB that burnt down Lagos, Oba of Lagos Palace. That's what he said today. And this is in quote, what he said. Investigations reveals that Adesun International Concept Limited, belonging to Igboho, transferred the sum of 12 million naira and 50,000 naira, and 750,000 naira to Abal, Bako and Sons. Abdullahi Umar Usman is by way, according to him, he said, it might be recalled that Abal, Bako and Sons and his promoter Abdullahi Umar Usman are suspects in the ongoing joint terrorist financing investigation. Abdullahi Umar Usman is by way of financial transaction connected to Surajo Abubakar Muhammad, who was sentenced to life imprisonment in United Arab Emirates on charges of financing terrorism, Boko Haram. Now, Malamu said, because Igboho's company transacted with Aboki Burudi change in Yoruba land to change his naira to dollar as a businessman, there are many of those who are going to feed fat on whatever nonsense vomited by Malamu. You have all at one time or the other transacted with some of this Boko Haram financing, Bureau de Change. You remember the expose of David Udein on the genesis of Boko Haram, and now Boko Haram has been financed over the years, including the Bureau de Change that were indicted as the conduits where they move money sponsoring Boko Haram, those who are based in Lagos, those in Kano, and all those, the addresses and all of that, verified. Malamu jumped them and decided to go and see that, okay, Shebi they say Igboho is always importing cars, selling cars. Abi, he sell cars. Therefore, he's probably not buying the cars in Naira. So let's see if he's transacted with any Bureau de Change at all, so that we can at least use that. But before I even come to that, it was this same Malamu that told us that the crime committed by Omoyele Sowore was treasonable crime. And when they said, bring the evidence, he said, Omoyele Sowore was working with some countries who have been financing him to destabilize Nigeria and overthrow Buhari. That was what Malamu told the Buhari idiots, the cyberbarians. And when they said they should bring evidence of those who are financing Omoyele Sowore, he said Sowore traveled to so many parts of the world to go and meet those who were ready to give him money to overthrow Buhari. That was why Sowore was arrested for treason, because #revolution now is the key that the people who are funding Sowore to destabilize Nigeria. When they said, bring evidence, guess what? He said, well, we found out that Sowore visited Dubai. And they said, but Sowore never visited Dubai. There's no record of him visiting anywhere. Even when he was going about for his presidential campaign, then there was never a time he visited Dubai. I said, okay, that was not an evidence. They said, but evidence of the money, funding, the money they gave to Sowore that you said is enough to overthrow Buhari. He said, well, they found out that Sowore transferred money from his own personal account in Nigeria, and he transferred the money to Sahara Reporters' account in New York. Therefore, he did not declare that money. They said, how much be the money? He said, I think he said $4,000. So, Sowore transferred money from his own account to his own establishment, Sahara Reporters. And that constitutes an evidence to overthrow Buhari in Nigeria. Say, yes, The court will decide. Let the court decide. The same Malamu on Oloye Sunday Igboho, he said, Igboho transacted business of 273 million naira in 8 years, that they believe part of that money is from the Boko Haram sponsor. This guy sat down and he addressed press conference today. Okay? And that is the Attorney General of Nigeria, the #1 law officer of Nigeria, who is now working to jail everyone, coming out to expose the fraud called Boko Haram and their collaboration with those who have wrecked Nigeria, the terrorists. So he came out and he addressed the press and he said, Igboho transacted business of 273 million naira in 8 years, that they believe part of that money is for Boko Haram. Okay, now let's get it. Igboho changed 12 million naira to dollars. There is no evidence of when, date, time, nothing, just word of mouth, because Malamu said they did an investigation. Now, 12 million naira to dollars. Abi, what would have then happened other than if truly there is an investigation? Okay, Igboho transacted the business through his own company, like any of us could do, with any of those Aboki Bureau de Change in Lagos, Ibadan, or anywhere you have transacted with Aboki Bureau de Change before, right? So 12 million naira is how much in dollars, by the way? Can somebody please do the math and type it in the comments? I want to read it out. You all know that I'm so terrible when it comes to mathematics or this, that's a lot for me. However, help me do it. How much is 12 million naira in dollars? And please, we are talking about connection now. So Rajo that they are talking about have nothing to do with Igboho. According to Malamu, he said, Igboho changed money to dollars from a business that they believe is linked to Sorajo, the person that United Arab Emirates arrested and sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. It's not even life imprisonment, right? Somebody says $6,000. Jesus. So, Igboho changing 12 million naira to dollars, which is $6,000, is the record evidence that Igboho has a link to Boko Haram, and therefore they are charging the Lady K and this Comrade Jamil and Igboho. They are wanted for terrorism. Now, what is the link? Let's look at it this way. Boko Haram said they want to make Nigeria Islamic nation, where Sharia will be the main law, no constitution other than Sharia. And therefore, anybody who doesn't believe that, they will kill them. And so far, so good. They have killed more than 2 million people in their campaign of blood and terror of 12 years. For these 12 years, Boko Haram's government, who came to power on the promise that they were coming to crush these terrorists, ended up maximizing and turned it into profit and an industry, right? Then somebody told us and he said, listen, this is an expose to some of you who don't understand or who don't have a clue about what is the genesis of Boko Haram. This is it. Conflicts for jihad. You remember that? Conflicts for jihad, which started from 1975 by no other person other than Sheikh Osama bin Gumi's father. His father started this whole thing. And those who were funding it were those who were giving you that your breakfast when you are a kid, and some of your children are still feeding on that. Conflicts for jihad. But what we later found out is that despite the fact that even the government of Nigeria indicted all these individuals, they never, ever carried that indictment and then sanctioning out Some of them they forfeited all their properties abroad when they were caught financing terrorism because they are in Nigeria. The person who started this whole thing that brought Sheikh Gumi's father into limelight was no other person from this Eritrea. The conflicts for jihad. And 12 years ago, they activated their jihad. In Yoruba land, we had no jihad, no nothing, no, except for Murik, the Mumurik, that man that is mental, always wanted to start everything around religious war in Yoruba land, that Akinola or Akintola, or whatever his name. We don't have jihad in Yoruba land, though. Yeah? Then suddenly, we started having the Fulani terrorists from 2015, kidnapping our people, collecting money, ransom, in millions of naira, killing those who couldn't pay, destroying the farms, chasing away people from their villages, ransacking towns and villages, and nobody could even, fight back. Igboho responded and said, Yorubas should rise up, and we should stop complaining. We should stop lamenting. We should go to action. And when he asked us, he said, if all of you who are now the Yoruba sons and daughters abroad, who are now so scared to come back home, if you want to come back home, this is the situation. It was the first person that first alerted us was Iba Gani Adams, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. It was the first person to alert us when he told us that from their own investigation, for way back since 2016, they discovered over 1,748 Fulani cell inside our forest camps that were already surrounded. That the Yoruba political class and the elite should wake up before they will begin to become the victims of what they pretend not to be aware of. It was Iba Gani Adams that first alerted us. Then the people of Igongon cried out when they killed prominent citizens of that place. Then we discovered that 4 local government areas in Oyo State have already been surrounded and they have already been under the siege of Fulani terrorists. Igboho risked his life, moved other people, young, old, everyone. They went into the bush and they started chasing them. Even when the Yoruba political class couldn't hide or pretend anymore, they decided to start Amotekun in response to the invasion of the Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land. Things that are so strange to us. Yeah? And despite starting Amotekun, they were not allowed to be harmed, to go after those terrorists. Nigeria doesn't allow them. We never allow them. Even when this same Amotekun in Oyo State went after these terrorists for the first time this year in January, 3rd of January, you remember? And they killed over 48 of them, arrested about 12 of them, and they brought them to Ibadan. They cleaned and cleared more than 3 local government areas until they got to the last one, which happens to be that Ibarapa North or so, where you have Igongon, Ayete, Okeogun, and all those areas. It was when the Amotekun got there on the 3rd of January that they were faced with gunfire. They said the first 3 local government they chased, these people were running away. They were running away. This year, that happened this year. It was all these were in response to the invading terrorists of Yoruba land. That's how Igboho got involved, though. Guess what? When they brought those criminals to Ibadan, the story changed. When Miyetiala said, those they attacked, they are vigilantes, they are walking in the forest, they are those protecting Yoruba land. And then Oyo State government said, we don't know them. We've never met them. We didn't even know they were there. These were terrorists terrorizing the people of this part of this state. Then the pressure came from Abuja. Guess what? The story changed. Immediately, the story changed. They are no longer Fulani terrorists arrested or killed by Amotekun. The commander of Amotekun in Oyo State came out and he said, we are in trouble. If all of you don't know, we are in trouble. His name is retired Togun. That's the commander of Amotekun in Oyo State. Since that January, you will never hear that Amotekun went into anywhere to do anything. In February, Igboho decided to visit Igangan. That was the day they put target on his back. So ask yourselves, what did he do wrong? Or what do you think is done wrong to now warrant Malamu to give a press statement and say Igboho has a link to Boko Haram? Lati Bosibo, from where to where? Is this not like them taking us for so of a mugu? That all of you who call yourself elite in Yoruba land, who are watching all these things happening, thinking it will never get to you. It will get to you. Now, this is the template. Many of you have been to Burundi change in the past. So many of you have managed to keep your business floating because you can no longer access Forex in the regular bank anymore. Since these criminals came to power. Yeah? All they need to do is to just hear anything from you. And bam, you are a terrorist. When they say they should bring the evidence, they will say during their investigation of tracing terrorism money, ask them, how come that they know all this Burundi change and Malamu to this day cannot even come out boldly to give you the names of Boko Haram sponsor? 400 of them they claim they arrested. What is their name? Give us their names. They won't give you the names. But is it not convenient now to come out and say Igboho has a link to Boko Haram? How does that make any sense to anybody? It is called gaslighting. Shores in Abuja, they are holding him. He cannot go anywhere. They killed his brother. Fulani terrorists killed his brother. They didn't allow him to go and pay the last respect to his own brother. Because they said he is being sponsored by those who want to destabilize Nigeria from Dubai, from all those imaginary places. While the real terrorists continue to shoot down fighter jets, continue to kill your military, continue to kidnap your people en masse, killing them en masse. The same Malamu came out. Let me show you. He also made the release on IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Same nonsense. They were in court. They had the chance of presenting their charges against Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah? They have told, they were so happy when they kidnapped him. Yeah? When they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi, they were so happy. It was like they just discovered the oil in Zamfara or Borono. Yeah? They committed international crime. It is called extraordinary rendition. Let me cut it short. It is called kidnapping. It's like somebody like me working with other people and just kidnap somebody. If I am arrested, I'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. Yes, that's what it is in this country. If you kidnap anyone in this country, you are going to life imprisonment. There's no judge, there's no lawyer that can fight out of it. Fight you out of it. You can't get out of it. That is what Malamu, Boko Haram, this Kenyatta guy, and the rest of those who had vans in kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, you now have him in Nigeria. Can you then tell us why you want to hold him? They said he jumped bail. That's part of they didn't even put that in the charges, so that he jumped bail, because they know that he didn't jump bail. Somebody who had a date in court, and you couldn't wait, you decided to go and assassinate him and kill him, so that he would never appear in that court, right? And he ran for his life and continued to torment you. Now you kidnapped him and you brought him to your country. It is now back. He is back in your courts. Now the whole thing is back. The game is back in your hand. What are the charges? They said they called Boko Haram idiots. They didn't put it there that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said the person inside that Rock is not Boko Haram, is a cloned fake one from God knows where they brought him from. They did not include that in the charges. Because if they included that in the charges, Nnamdi Kanu would have asked them to bring that Boko Haram and let them do DNA. That's a big one. And that is even more disgraceful because they will need to bring Boko Haram if they want to prove that Nnamdi Kanu is wrong. They will need to bring Boko Haram, collect his blood, collect his saliva, collect his hair, collect things they can collect from him, all the DNA. They'll go and check with those who are supposed to have a blood relation with Boko Haram. So it is when they check and they realize that, it is the same Boko Haram, that Nigeria can then convict him for calling Boko Haram dead. But guess what? They did not put that in their charges. Among the charges, they said, because Nnamdi Kanu is using Radio Biafra, he has encouraged the youth in Eastern Nigeria to join IPOB and to join ESN. Therefore, in the last, since they've started, according to Malamu, the IPOB and ESN, they have burnt 170-something buildings, and they have killed 150 policemen and soldiers. That's what Malamu said. And that's not all. According to Malamu, he said, IPOB burnt Oba of Lagos Palace during NSAS. IPOB burnt the BRT buses in Lagos. And the IPOB also killed civilians in Lagos. That is what number one law officer of Nigeria actually told the press today. I am supposed to be fuming and screaming, but I won't. You know why? They have insulted us so much that they are so used to it that they believe that they are dealing with idiots, because many of you who call yourselves elites, and you claim to be the elite of Yoruba land, right before your eyes, Malamu and gang, they are dipping Nigeria into the oblivion that will consume not just them, including all of you, the elites, who are currently pretending that this is not happening. We saw what happened in Lagos. We saw the children from Isaleko that took over the palace. We also saw that the first palliative, the first time everybody will know that a palliative for coronavirus was stored at Oba of Lagos house, and so many other palliatives years before. Food, toiletries, medicals, and so many other things like that. Inside the palace of Oba of Lagos, stored there for years. The place was invaded by the youth of Lagos Island. We have their videos. We saw when they were swimming in the small swimming pool inside that place. We saw everything, but Malamu from Abuja, the Were from Kebbi, we rather gaslight every tribe one after the other, so that when we begin to fight, they can just war Spain, and they will start picking us up one by one, killing those they can kill among us, displace those they can displace. By the time we all realize what they have done to us, we will have nobody left strong enough to fight them. Your money won't be able to fight. Your position won't be able to fight. Everything you have then will become worthless. And that is exactly what Malamu is doing. They divided Nigeria to this level because they think they know what they are doing. By keeping the whole thing, the fire, burning and burning, because they have compromise on so many people who are currently prouding themselves as leaders of this place, leaders of that place from southern Nigeria. You are all keeping quiet. You are. But look at the template. They are setting up the template that they are going to use to fry many of you. And by that time, those who have the strong voice, those who have the strong arms, those who have the strong will to go after them, they would have been decimated because you keep quiet. It is sad in two ways. The criminals who brought us to this level, they deliberately, continually telling us that terrorists are not terrorists. They are either bandits or vandals. The same terrorist government you have in Nigeria, who decided to buy back anti-aircraft gun because they didn't want the terrorists to use it to shoot down Boko Haram. They don't give a damn if a passenger plane is shot down in Lagos. To them, Bismillah, Abi, Malamu can sit down wherever he is, protect terrorists, and they come out. They even send this Layamo, Femi Okonu Adeshina. These days, we have not been hearing from Garbage Shehu. We have been hearing constantly from these two Dodoyos, Omuale Yorubas, Layamo and Femi Okonu Adeshina, telling us that the reason why we are complaining is simply because Boko Haram is popular than Awolowo. Boko Haram is popular than Azikiwe. Boko Haram is popular than any leader you think you know. But we said, fine. Boko Haram is popular than them for every wrong reasons. I mean, every wrong reason that you can come across a murderer, a cold-hearted killer who pretended, why am I even saying pretending? He's told you that he could wipe some people out of the map because they are just dots in a circle. Now, that means murderous genocidists is popular because everything they stand for today, every bloodbath and every campaign of a jihad they are promoting today, they don't really belong to 21st century. They belong to the old that were supposed to be back in the old. But you ignorantly, selfishly and greedily, many of you brought and exhumed a dead corpse. After 30 years in the oblivion, you exhumed the death of Boko Haram from 1985 to come back again, 2015. And then you look around and you want to blame who? No one else but yourselves. Yes, I'm talking to those of you who still think pandering to these murderous people, saying yes to the setup will keep you safe. Ha! You have no idea, no clue. And you see, we reject this, by the way, like we've rejected every of their lies because they don't match. They don't make sense. They are only sensible to the idiots that they told that all they needed was change, that later turned to chain. When they couldn't pull it off, they decided to change it to next level. We told them it's going to be a next devil. Now, they are actually in that devil enclave, but they are not just they just don't want to stay there on their own. They've dragged those of you who never even voted or supported, those of you who rejected and caused and said everything to stop them, they've dragged all of you into it. And if we have anything else to actually serve, or anything at all to save, it is us. Malamu is setting us up. And if you continue to play, well, we never really played into their hands, but we need more people to know that when things doesn't make any sense, they are further going to make it worse. How? When you leave terrorists to do all they like, because whatever it is, they will be forgiven anyway. And those who are trying to stop the terrorists have been hunted down like common criminals. They are being set up and being called terrorists right before our eyes. And they will then use their fake fraudulent laws to what? To kill them. And you're just going to keep quiet. We're just going to keep quiet. Of course, we won't keep quiet. And that is why, tell them, let them have the day, but we won't forget. Just like we've never forgotten anything. Malamu and gang, because they chose to go after innocent people who are also the victims of the failed security and failed country, trying to salvage the little they could, which is the humanity that is left. When they go after them, who goes after the terrorists? Who protects us from the terrorists when they chase those who ask us to stand up because government won't do anything? And indeed, they are not doing anything. Rather, to use the whole platform of the country. Do you know the kind of treason these guys have committed? They pledged to keep you safe. They failed to keep you safe. That is a treasonable offense alone, that from Boko Haram to Ikene Shatabandu to every one of them walking about right now should be rounded up, cuffed, and made to face a serious, powerful judicial inquiry that will have the mandate to sentence every one of them to death or life imprisonment for the crime they have committed against you. Do you understand what it is like for terrorists to feel untouchable and for your government to continue to protect them, continue to fund them, continue to rehabilitate and pay them? Do you know how much it should cost a country to build a soldier? Let's start from that. How much do you think will cost a country to build one soldier? An American soldier, from record, from the kit, from everything he's putting on, to the gun he's carrying or she's carrying, or to the mags, everything that makes up that soldier. Just that is approximated to be over $25,000. Training of that soldier alone is put at more than same $100,000. So a single soldier in America is an asset that is worth over $100,000. That is why an American soldier, wherever they fight and anything happens, they must make sure that they recover that person. Because it's an asset, a single one. How much do you think a Nigerian soldier is worth? From the gun he is carrying, to the boot he's wearing, to the bulletproof vest he's putting on, or maybe the bulletproof helmet he's putting on. How much do you think a Nigerian soldier is worth? I'm trying to picture something here, okay? I'm not saying you should. We know that you can say, well, Baba, they know what anything. Is it the shakabula they are carrying? How much do you think they're worth? Maybe we should put the value of one soldier in Nigeria. Let's put it at 10 million naira. So let's say one soldier is 10 million. Every time Boko Haram kill one soldier, now 10 million then kill. Do you know that this year alone, Boko Haram have killed over 1,400 Nigerian soldiers? Well, not just the soldiers anyway, including the policemen. Do you know that? Now, multiply 10 million naira times 1,400. If you put the numbers of those security forces, military, police, killed by Boko Haram in the last 12 years alone, they will be over 10,000. That is how Nigeria is losing the value of one soldier. As they say one soldier. Now for how many? Now for 100 civilian, Abi? I'm not sure if that is accurate. God bless you. Somebody is giving me the actual figure here. I'm so happy that people who have an idea of what I'm trying to say here. They said an average American soldier, one, is worth over $400,000. About $400,000, not be small change. Oh. Do you see why America will never leave their soldier anywhere? And if you kill American soldier, it's like you destroyed an asset that is, when an American soldier is commissioned, they believe that it's going to be so useful in his lifetime, at least 10 years of his life or her life. You see that 10 years, that is what American will use. It's an asset when they talk about their military assets. So if you kill one, oh boy, now wala you defined. Oh, do you know why? Somebody said Nigerian soldiers, they are not worth much. But again, let's be generous enough, being sincere here, because they actually spend a lot training them. If you meet an average soldier, they will tell you they spend a lot to train them, even though corruption embedded there. But despite all that money, so Boko Haram, you know now, it's either they kidnap the soldiers and the Nigerian military will deny them. They will kill them. Their family members will not even know that they have been killed. You get what I mean? That's how terrible it has become. But the Boko Haram killing them, that Boko Haram, they are receiving forgiveness. They call it amnesty. And according to those in charge of Nigeria, a terrorist like Boko Haram and these bandits, they call them bandits, they are terrorists, so they can become president if they repent. Do you see how they try to mess with your brains, with our heirs and all of that? You expect your government to be doing the right thing because they know everything. They say when crisis or any crime anywhere lasts longer than 48 hours, ladies and gentlemen, the government is involved. Those who have been prosecuting the war on your behalf, despite those they are killing. In Sokoto, Sultan of Sokoto came out and he told us, he said, they have just been hiding the figures of people being killed by terrorists in Sokoto state alone. They have not been telling the whole world the figures. Like there is no single day that they don't bury more than 10 people in Sokoto killed by terrorists from different communities. You know why they are not telling the people or letting you know the damages that is? Because a Boko Haram is in government.